Hey there, welcome to the Best of the Tattoo Weekly. My name is Jake. If you're not familiar with the Tattoo Weekly, it is a live show that airs Monday mornings at 10 a.m. Central Time. It's an hour long, and the Fireside Tattoo Network puts it on in partnership with Reinventing the Tattoo and Tattoo Now. There are three hosts, Lauren Gregory of Reinventing the Tattoo, Gabe Ripley of Tattoo Now, and me. And we tackle each week current events in the tattoo world. We talk about upcoming conventions, workshops, things like that, stuff that artists and tattoo fans might find interesting. And then at the end of each show, for the last half hour, we typically have a special guest on. It may be a tattoo artist or promoter or someone from within the tattoo or art industries. And this that you're about to watch is just the best of some of our recent shows. So if you want to keep up with the Tattoo Weekly, be sure to tune in to the Fireside Tattoo Network's YouTube channel right here every Monday at 10 a.m. Central. You can also sign up for our newsletter, and you'll get reminders of upcoming episodes and who's coming on, what type of guests we're going to have, what type of topics we might be covering, things of that nature. So be sure to sign up for our newsletter if you have not already. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description, and enjoy today's episode.
Can I real quickly while I was sharing, this has nothing to do with tattooing, but I wanted to share real quickly. Where's my Lightroom? There it is. I wanted to share real quickly this over the weekend. Gabe, I showed you a couple of these photos, but over the weekend, we went to the Mississippi River. So Memphis is a river town. We're on the Mississippi River, and it's at like historical lows, like crazy historical lows. And so we went down to this area where there's normally a dock and a marina, and found all of these, or saw all of these sunken boats. I haven't edited any of these. They're actually just pulled up in my Lightroom. I'm just going to share Lightroom.
This is cool.
Okay, so this is just like I'll just kind of start rolling through. These are normally just little like houses on the dock. This is all usually underwater, but so I think it's just so crazy. Like, check out this sailboat that's like sitting on its keel. Isn't that nuts? But the craziest thing, let me find there are all these old, like, see, there's that, obviously that boat's been sunken for 100 years. There are a lot of just hulls like that, just old hulls. But hey, the thing that blew us away the most, let's see, this one was kind of crazy. It's like that boat's been underwater a long time. But the thing that blew us away the most is there's this riverboat. Let me get to it. I'll scroll through. There's just like I guess just like an old aluminum hull or steel hull that was underwater. Boats sitting on their sides. But the craziest thing, this was nuts. So this is a boat, I guess, so this is a dock that normally would just be floating. You would walk across the dock to go to other boats, but the water is so low that this boat normally sits on the bottom, and the dock probably floats 20 feet above it. But the water's so low, the dock just dropped down and collapsed the boat. It's just laying across the boat. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Crazy. But this is here comes the wildest part of it all. That's a pretty crazy one. This is a riverboat that has been underwater. It's not that old. This thing is so nuts. Look at this.
I would love to see that.
It's crazy. There was a guy that was on it that had actually like climbed up and gone through the entire boat whenever I was there. Let me get another photo just to see. There, give you some scale of it. There's Emily standing in front of it. So
Did you go in?
I didn't. I would have. I wasn't really dressed for it. I would have liked to. Max really wanted to, my son. But so it really, the boat itself, Max found a whole controller. The boat itself was not all that old. It was dedicated by Vanna White in like the late 80s, early 90s as a gambling riverboat.
Okay.
And then it was retired in like 2014 or something. And because they just had bigger riverboats, and it just wasn't up to, I don't know, I guess technologically it wasn't up to the new standards. And so they parked it. And then like 4 years ago, there was a bad freeze here in town, and it sunk during the freeze. And it's been underwater since like 2017, 2018. That's right beside it. But it's just so crazy. I talked to the guy who climbed, who was climbing around on it. I waited until he came down. And he said that there's still like everything inside of it. Like it's just, he said all the like stuff is still in there, all the copper wiring, all the batteries, all the like he went up to the helm and to the flybridge up top and like, looked at it. This little boat was next to it. Another example of the dock.
Uh-huh.
Like that's sorry, I know this has nothing to do with tattooing, but that was but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how it's showing the curves, whatever you're in Photoshop there. I'm looking at like the the levels of the curves on all that.
Yeah, the Lightroom's awesome for this stuff. If you guys don't edit photos in Lightroom, you should. It's great. But yeah, tons of
Lightroom's got some cool new easy to use features. So if you're intimidated by Lightroom and you're watching, don't be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of user-friendly stuff going on.
Yeah. So crazy.
Yep.
All right, I'll stop sharing that. We can get back to tattoo stuff, but I'm gonna paint some of these. That's why I got all the photos. So there you go. That's the art. That's how I'll draw it to art. I'm gonna make some paintings.
Another great presentation was Aaron Williams, which is right at the top. So are you familiar with TATCOM, Jake?
Don't know if I am.
Oh my gosh, you probably should ask him to go on Fireside if you'd like information at all.
Yeah, I like information.
Oh my gosh, like he's a total nerd, just like Jake.
Oh,
yeah, he's like the wicked nerd.
Wicked,
okay, I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. He's in
you're a geek. He's a nerd. That's a good thing to say. But he was going through some of the things, and he was telling me just where his imagination flows, and when he wants to find something out, he'll put things together like that.
Yeah, I have.
Make it happen.
Where I've heard of him? Carson Hill told me about him. He has a he was talking about some type of a pad or something that he had where you could like run a tattoo machine against a pad, not with needles. Maybe he had some type of a blunt cartridge that would measure torque, resistance, a lot of different like machine variables and things like that that I had never heard of before. So I think
I would love for you to really pick his brain. I'm actually talking to him later today, but one of the things that he did, for example, and I could be saying it wrong, we should actually invite him to be on the show to talk about it, but he had taken a very strong, like powerful telescope. And so he kind of took it apart and created a sort of camera that could record very, very, very slowly and he also created a silicone type style synthetic skin and recorded a needle lining.
Oh, interesting.
It's some of the most amazing content I'd seen, but it was really opening everybody's brains up, because remember your episode on the suction of the ink into the skin? That's exactly what you see, but it's so different because you're looking at it completely macro. You're seeing exactly what happens, but not only does the skin suction, like with each line that goes in, you can see exactly what happens, like when the skin kind of like re-trampolines down, and how it affects previous punctures. Super interesting.
Really cool. Yeah, that's definitely someone I should.
Yeah, one of the things he also said that I think is worth sharing is that a lot of times you'll talk about the generational gaps being either positive or negative, but in this case, like the speed versus voltage, for people really understanding what that is, it's a generational gap. And so he's kind of put the time in to understand the why, and it's kind of bringing things to the future with that type of technology.
Oh, yeah, interesting. Yeah, he would. That'd be someone that I would love to talk to. I had a similar conversation just in passing in Richmond with Joshua Bowers. We were talking about, and I'd never met him before. I've seen him at shows. I've just never stopped to introduce myself. And so I was talking to him, and he was making some of the same points that we've heard people make on our show before, whether it's Sean Bellina or Carson Hill, but he had a little bit of a different take on it, on how the vacuum actually happens, and the importance of actually the not only hitting the skin, but the skin stretching to form a more of an oval than just a direct puncture, so that you can actually get enough air into the hole that you've punctured to create the vacuum. And he talked about the motion of the machine in order to make that happen. And we didn't do it on a podcast. We just did sit there at his booth.
Man, but it is weird. It is weird that happens in the elasticity of the skin. Like with the second, like if you have the first puncture, it like goes like, say, this much, if you can see. The second puncture, the elasticity of the skin brings it down so that previous puncture the ink even goes further,
Hmm.
like this much further down. So it's all relatable. It's cool that you
Yeah.
can that other tattooers are having these ideas because it's you know, scientifically it's facts.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting. And it's funny that the conversations are happening all over the place now. Those types of conversations are happening all over the place now. And people are taking the same information, like visualizing it slightly differently and drawing different conclusions, you know, what's, you know, kind of what's important. And it's funny, the day after I got back from Richmond, I was thinking about what Joshua Bowers was saying, and I was playing, like trying to get into his mindset, and I was playing with the angle of the machine and coming in at some very, very extreme angles, working on what was I working on? I can't remember the tattoo now, but whatever it was, I was coming in at some really extreme angles and getting really great saturation. And it made me think of like how I've always done that on like really spongy areas, like rib cages or this back spongy area of the arm, that it's difficult to get penetration. And so I'll end up coming in almost at like straight on with the skin to get better saturation, and thinking of Joshua Bauer's logic as
That's
makes
kind of
sense.
similar to what Mark was saying, and I can't pinpoint exactly what he was saying, but that was some of the questions. Because in a situation like that, when you've got 40 tattooers, some new, some very experienced, you're going to have all sorts of brainstorming going on with that. Mark was particularly intrigued, I'll say, because he's, you know, that's what he does. And I was particularly intrigued thinking about, what are those absorption rates? Are they measurable? You know, everybody has their own take on this. But Sean, he's watching. He says, great info. Where can I follow Tatcom? Instagram at Tatcom. Otherwise, I think Aaron Williams would be like Mad Scientist 854 or something like that. But yeah, those nerdy
Probably
videos are really cool.
TATTCOM too.
Yeah, two T's. I just
TATTCOM, I believe.
Okay. Make the same notes myself. Thanks for the question.
Yep, and his partner is just as smart too. And the nice part about it is that that type of innovation is hands-on. It's not like they outsource a lot of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
No, they're in there programming the zeros and the ones, like they're like fucking way in there.
Yeah, and that's what the industry needs. It doesn't need more copycats. We really need innovation, because we're at a point with technology that this type of stuff is, I mean, the best mind, may the best mind win.
Right.
But yeah, it's cool. It's not just a power supply.
Check out the preview of the course here. It's pretty sick. Yeah. And if you comment on who you think did these tattoos
and get it right,
then you can
gotta get it right. All right, so there's a few of you in there. So Kyle, he's like, what's up, everybody? Kyle, let's see what you can think. Amber, Adam, Dan, I guess, and then Gabe and I.
And then if nobody gets it, then you might win at random.
Yeah, maybe so.
So guess.
Right. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna pull up the first pull up the first image. And we have to be quiet for.
Oh, that's great. Okay, I have an idea. So wait, I love the parrots.
Yeah, nice.
When do we start to guess? Do we have to wait?
Do we want to give it? Man, too bad we don't have like a timer. We could do it. Right? Let's go through all three of them first.
Okay.
And I only pulled up 3.
Oh, and then we could get some hints potentially.
Right.
You know,
okay. So
I think I saw this piece, and it's just. I think I saw this piece. Okay,
that's cool.
Okay, like I'm gonna pull up the next one here. Let's see, share. I'm gonna stop that share, and I'm gonna reshare. All right, piece number 2.
Okay, now I've got another. Well, I've got it. I opened up my 2.
Oh, we already have the answer on the Fireside. Anthony guessed it. It is Andy Chambers.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, I'll go on and pull the third piece up.
That snake was a fucking dead giveaway.
Yeah. I'll pull the third piece up, and just so everyone can see.
Oh, but okay, yeah.
But so here's the third. This piece is awesome. So let me tell you why I chose Andy Chambers, outside of the fact that, you know, he's doing my back and he's one of my favorite tattooers. His Instagram was recently hacked, and so he lost, like, I don't know, 80, 100,000 subscribers, and now he has like 400 subscribers. So let me just real quickly, I want to take everyone to his new Instagram. So
that's funny. Although I have to poke fun at it, you know, just the futileness of like, he just lost 80,000 followers, so he needs to build them back up again. Why? Just so you can lose them again? Like,
yeah, probably. I don't know. You know, I don't know that he cares, to be honest. But he didn't. He didn't even mention it, other than
other than I ran into him in Richmond.
Yeah.
We were talking about it.
I mean,
But
it's all
so
good. It's all good. I'm just
yeah. So this is his new handle. So if you guys want to check out some of Andy's work, it's awesome. He doesn't have much on here yet, and he probably won't. He doesn't post a lot.
It looks like he's getting scammed too, right? Like
that. Yeah, his last one was scammed, and I noticed the morning that it happened, I got like a direct message from him, something about Bitcoin. And I was like, so I just texted him and I was like, man, did you send me something on Bitcoin? He was like, no. Like, I think you're hacked. So,
right.
We should do something, and because it happens to tattooers all the time, and I see tattooers all the time do the telltale things that ask for that stuff to happen to you. We should do a little course on what to do, how to avoid it. Like, did you know you back up your data through Instagram just in case periodically and stuff like that? There's just so many little things. My friend Michael down in Florida, that happened to him. And like, I cannot believe the runaround he got. There's a lot of lessons learned, like probably don't want to book your appointments through Instagram direct, no,
you should probably have like a professional website, and a professional way to book
lessons
people.
learned for sure, but everyone still does it, There's a lot of content in your direct messages alone through Instagram that sucks to lose. But
yeah.
If you communicate with people through direct message with important stuff, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, and you've had your account for years, I assume. It takes years to build that stuff up.
Yeah.
But again, for me, it was like professional work shouldn't really be done through social media. I mean, just saying. And just because people do it doesn't mean it's not like literally fucking Facebook. I mean,
man, there should be a support group. What to do if you lost your baby Instagram account? Because like, we know that that's true, but like our Instagram account to most of us is like, man, it'd be bittersweet to lose.
Yeah,
it'd be sweet to lose.
I don't have followers at all, but like still like, conversations from 10 years ago, I do have.
The history of it is pretty insane. There's no question. I mean, on the Facebooks, whenever it says, hey, check out this memory from 10 years ago, it's usually like, oh, well, that's pretty damn cool. And by now it knows which ones I'll interact with. So it's like feeding me the memories that it knows I'm going to fucking click on.
So you know the future and what it's like. So do I. So for someone that wants to avoid that happening to themselves or avoid putting in too much time into social media, what could be the solution?
Well, I'm always, well, funny that you ask. No, I mean, I'm pretty much one of the main things I'm always talking about is just owning the list, having a list. If you were to be on like Shark Tank, and I'm not saying that means anything other than like the real dumbed down easiest thing, like, it's like contrast and lines and black that, on Ink Master or whatever, right? Like, how much does it cost to acquire a client, how much money do you make from a client? And then the main one for me would be how many people are on your list? Like, how many customers do you have? How many people can you reach? And so part of it for me is like, even when you have a big Instagram following, is, unless you're like really engaged, you're not even reaching a tenth of those people anyways, right? Whereas if you're, sending out email, I mean, and again, for me, I would always encourage people to meet your clients where they're at. So I wouldn't like shut off the Instagrams or the Facebooks or the TikToks. In fact, I would say, having this conversation about Instagram or Facebook is kind of silly anyways, because if you care about social media, you should be on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, right? But like TikTok is where the social media eyeballs and action and algorithms are, right? So, but again, it's like, you don't want to fall prey to like, all of a sudden now all my shit's on TikTok. So for me, it's like email lists. And again, search engine traffic, is something. I mean, I've got, tattoos on Tattoo Now that have been bringing in, new clients for 10 years, you can't, Facebook posts from 10 years ago or TikTok videos from 2 or 3 years ago. Like they might get some action, but not the same way. Anyways, I would suggest a comprehensive, semi-automated, personalized system.
Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can share this little video that I put together. So I woke up at like 4 o'clock this morning and couldn't go back to sleep. So I grabbed some of the footage from Richmond. And just this one night where they did some pretty interesting things in Richmond that are different than most conventions. They have the tattoo glory hole where it's like, free tattoos. So you get what you get. You just put your arm in the hole and get what you get. And then they have, all the illustrators have these big 4 foot by 4 foot panels outside that they paint all 3 days, and then they're auctioned off for Jesse's charity. So you get to watch these illustrators and painters work all weekend, and there's a stage out there and food trucks and all that, which is cool. And then they did this thing called a karaoke cage match. Oh my God, my face hurt so bad the next day laughing. I mean, if you want to talk about people who go so hard at karaoke but cannot sing, but like just go hard, they had so much fun. Let me see. Do I have to do it? I don't share enough. Do I have to do a trick to share the audio, or does it
share sound?
Yeah, you want to
optimize
click
for
the
video.
button.
Yeah, share sound. There we go. Yeah, got it.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
Oh, it's so good. All right. Okay. All right. Can you see it?
Yes.
All
Yep.
right.
Oh my God. Glad you woke up at 4 a.m. today.
Yeah, right. This guy was so good. So that's it. But it was
That's awesome.
it was so good. I spent more time laughing than I did filming. I have a lot more footage of the people who actually got up there and went hard. But oh man, it was a blast. And so yeah, so this morning I got up and just clipped that little thing together.
Awesome.
Hopefully
I
That
think
was
we have our dates coordinated next year, so that we're doing the tattoo gathering the weekend before instead of the same weekend.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that sounds great. And I'm excited about that. And I guess that's something trying to do a full tattoo gathering that has to start getting planned like now, huh?
Oh yeah. Now, well, I've got the poster ready. Marcus Leonard and Kai Heitland. Actually, Kai has been doing most of the editing. Yeah, and I don't know if it's not going to quite be like fucking. I don't know if I'm going to ever do halls of tattooers necessarily again. I think there'll be a lot of tattooing specifically for professional development purposes.
Mhm.
We'll probably do a run of there'll be some booths too. But again, I don't think it's going to be a I mean, I just don't have the resources to do a full on fucking tattoo gathering like I had in the past before.
Right. Right. But focus more on seminars. And the thing that I thought was so great about the BYOB was just the opportunity for people to get together, set up around a table and paint. And it was funny, I was in the seminar room most of the time in the BYOB, and a lot of the seminars only had maybe 10, 15 people. And then you would go around to the main room and realize that like no one wanted to leave the table they were at where they were painting with people, having a good time. And,
Sure.
So that I feel like I didn't like poll anyone that was there, but it seemed to me that was the real value with the relationships that those people made that weekend. So
for sure. I mean, there's a lot of great tattoos that come out of it. But again, being very particular about how, I'm not going to do the same thing, basically. I got a lot of cool ideas. And I think I may have alluded to some of them about, making the curriculum, and I had a tattoo convention plan that had to get canceled back in the shit show years. That had a lot of great ideas in it too, right? So it's like, I'm going to take the best of, all the different events that we've done, see what, and then there's already event like, back when I started the tattoo gathering, it was like, pretty unique. Now there's, more events that are dedicated to education and whatnot. So, I got to make sure that they, do something different, for the next time. So I'm pretty excited. But like I said, I've got the ideas. I do need to catch up though. All of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, fucking time to your point. I have already started it, but it's time to fucking get going on it.
Well, have we said it all? What time is it? We have 2
Almost.
minutes.
I'm going to share inspiring tours because we've opened
yeah.
up 2 new inspiring tours.
Yeah.
INSP, and this time when I go to the website, it'll actually go to the website. So if you're still with us and you want to have dedicated time, we have unique experiences for tattooers. You could go to inspiring.tours. It's the only time I didn't register at .com. One of the only times, but hey, inspiring.tours is actually pretty catchy. And so yeah, we're doing them in Sam O'Reilly House in North Conway, New Hampshire, although we have plans to take them around the world. And
Hey, look at that.
April 14th and 16th, Inspiring Business with Jake Meeks and Gabe Ripley. $12.50 for, it's like 2 days over the course of 3 days, right? So it's like a Friday check-in, Sunday checkout. And yeah, it'll basically be 2 days dedicated to, I think it's like 5 to 7 people. They're pretty sweet.
And that includes room and board. What else does it include?
It includes 2 nights of and room and board. Where does it say? So if we keep scrolling down, it'll show us exactly what we got going on. Then the week after is Nikki Simpson and Tej Poole. So this is Inspiring Tattooing. So they'll be doing a day of coloring tattoos, day of black and gray tattoos, a collaborative tattoo. And then on the way out, everyone gets their work critiqued. And it's pretty awesome. Like after spending a couple of days with awesome tattooers, getting to know each other, and then there's no like getting rushed through the critique because there's a line a mile long behind you. And then the weekend or the week before is Nick Baxter and Sean Barber.
One left.
And there is one left to pick that up if people are interested. I'm trying not to like sell it out to, but somebody should buy it.
To sell it out.
Well, I want to. I'm trying to somebody.
You like being picky with the last person?
I kind of want to be picky with the last person, but you know what? Part of being picky means anybody watching this that wants to can go to Inspiring Tour and pick it up. They're $500 deposits. Again, they're all of the events are limited to 7 people here.
I think the shittiest person should buy the last one of the Baxter. Like, if you're just a real turd, jump in there and buy that real quick. Yeah, I'm excited to do that. I love the guy. What's his name? That
Jason Zuby.
Jason Zuby. Yeah, I met him. I met him at the BYOB, and he's a former professional wrestler. And man, we talked and talked. I probably had a 3-hour conversation with that guy. He's awesome. So I'm excited to see him again. And I'm excited to do this and talk more about our ideas or my ideas on entrepreneurship and just mindset and kind of organizing your life to be a better artist.
There's so much opportunity, so much low-hanging fruit. And again, the ability to have, your experience, my experience, it's dedicated to people, so we spend a day, getting to know everybody, to get to figure out where the pain points are. And
I'm sure we'll break away and do some drawing too. I wouldn't dare go to a place like that and not do some plein air painting.
Absolutely. I mean, my hope is that, we take some of those plein air paintings and use them as marketing materials, right? Because part of the business will be branding yourself and representing yourself. Yeah. And, but that's only because I'm thinking that way. You're like, I just want to paint the pretty pictures, motherfucker.
I just want to paint. Yeah, I just want to paint.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget that this does air live every Monday morning. So be sure to jump in the chat and spend your Monday mornings with Lauren and Gabe and I. And also don't forget to sign up for that newsletter so you can stay up to date with where we're going to be, what shows are coming out so that you don't miss a beat. Thank you, as always, for supporting the Fireside Tattoo Network, and I'll catch you next time.